Welcome to Spotlight on the Arts. I'm Patrick Christiano, your host, the publisher of TheaterLife.com, a website for theater buffs covering Broadway and off-Broadway theater. And I have really cool guests today. We're going to talk about the Big Apple Circus, and we have the CEO, Marty LaSalle, and the director of the new version of this Journey to the Rainbow, it's called, Patrick Philadelphia, in right here to chat. Well, they're Zooming with us. They're not right here. It feels like they're right here, however. Marty and Patrick, welcome. Welcome. Thank you guys for coming to do this. It's exciting to chat with you.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So Marty, this is a new venture for you, being the CEO, coming to this as a performer, a juggler. You were the LaSalle brothers. You and your brother had a acrobat juggling act, correct?
Correct. And I haven't heard the two words LaSalle brothers next to each other in a long time.
I hope that's a good deja vu for you.
No, it's a wonderful thing. I've thought about performing and being in the ring since I've returned to the Big Apple Circus a year and a half ago. I performed in the ring as a juggler with my twin brother 15 years ago for the 2008-2009 season. It was the last year that Paul Binder, who is the founding artistic director of the Big Apple Circus, was the artistic director. And then after I stopped performing, I stayed at the Big Apple Circus and worked in operational roles on site and guest relations for a couple of years. And then I left the business for 10 years. I stayed connected to it personally, professionally here and there.
You were away for 10 years before you got this gig as a CEO?
I was out of the circus business mostly. You never really get.
That's amazing. Now, Patrick, you've never been out of the circus business, right?
Never. Nearly 50 years old, and I was from the beginning until now always in the circus business.
Now Patrick you're the CEO of the Circus Theatrical Rinaldi. Is that how you? And it's a German theatrical circus. It's been around for 45 years. Am I correct?
Yes, Bernard Paul started the circus at 76, and Bernard Paul is not a circus man. We call it from the private business. Let's say he never have something to do with circus. So like Marty.
That's what I'm called.
The dream from Bernard.
He needs the two of you. Now, you two, you have created a vision that the Big Apple has wanted to do for a very long time. Merge your two companies into performance here in Lincoln Center, where you are now performing until January, and there's a good possibility you'll be extended and perform longer. You've got great reviews already from the New York Times. You're called the Critics' Pick. I want to show everybody just a little teaser of what the Journey to the Rainbow looks like. You gave us this little sizzle reel, and then we'll talk about some of it afterwards. And you'll have to come back and chat with me another time, Marty, because we could do a whole show. And you too,
anytime,
Patrick. So let's go. Jody, can you show them the sizzle reel? But that just gives you a little taste of some of the acts. But it's magical. It's absolutely magical, and the space that you get to do it in there, Lincoln Center, is extraordinary too. But before we talk about the acts, Jody, could you put that poster up again? This is your poster, right?
This is our artwork for the season, correct?
Tell us a little bit about it, Marty, because you had a lot of significance to the the hot air balloons was significant.
Absolutely. And I think this really captures the spirit of the partnership. And Patrick, I'm glad you used the word magical, because one of the things that Circus Theater Roncalli is really known for is creating not just a show, but really creating these magical worlds. And I would love Patrick to talk a little bit about that, but that spirit is really aligned with the spirit of the Big Apple Circus. Circus Theater Roncalli and Big Apple Circus both present quality circus productions in a one-ring traditional nouveau cirque style. The reason I love this artwork is because it really brings the two companies together and captures the spirit of the partnership. And I love everything about the balloon.
You know what's wonderful is the whimsical quality of it it hits a lot of the bases of all the things that you are aiming to do. Yes, yes.
Absolutely. And it really pulls from the style and the design of Circus Theater Roncalli. The balloon here is one of their dominant visual motifs throughout their branding. And it's especially appropriate in this case because Circus Roncalli is coming over from Germany and landing in New York. So we just really loved how this artwork came together. And Patrick, do you want to talk a little about the style of it and anything else you want to share?
Yeah, for us was sure that the journey to the rainbow, so the title of the show, was very important for us because when Bernard Paul in the 80s, he began the Circus Roncalli, one of the biggest shows what he do in Germany was the Reise zum Regenbogen, the journey to the rainbow. And then we said, if we're going to go now to New York, we have to bring the old spirit from Roncalli to New York. And then the title was already for us already there. So this, I think, was the perfect name. And this is what Marty already said, that the balloon is one already 8 years, our main motif. And how you can go better to New York from Germany or from Europe is to oversee with the balloon. And this is very visual. And I think also for the kids and also for the audience, this is something very new and something also magical.
Yeah, you have who has the final decision on the acts that you include, because you have such a wide diversity of performers from all over the world, not just Germany and just all over.
Yeah, and this is just, oh, Patrick, I'll let you jump in, but I just wanted to say, just to say one more thing about the balloon. We actually, at the top of the show, the balloon actually comes down from the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
The central clowns that Patrick can talk about sort of stumble out of the basket.
That's so cool.
It's a really beautiful, poetic moment. In terms of casting and show creation, Patrick deserves all the credit. He's been working on the show for way too little time.
There's never enough time. There's never enough time.
And it's amazing what he was able to put together.
I understand. Yes.
About the cast was very difficult because we didn't have so much time to prepare everything how we wanted, because the artists now in this time, they are all booked already. So it was very difficult to hide them. So, but we want few acts, what we know already from the old Roncalli shows, and we try also to bring them to New York. And we didn't find them all. So we create new acts like the Golden Pyramids, what we're going to have now in New York. This act before didn't exist. So we built now for 3-4 months, this built in Hungary, and we told them what we want. And they built this act in in New York now, completely new. So, or the trapeze guys, they usually they didn't work anymore, one of them. So he took another partner. And then he make the act what he make already 6-7 years ago. So we took already the acts what was very successful in Europe, and this we said this is must to be in the show in Roncalli in New York in the back.
Do you have any trouble getting them, or are they all excited to come perform in New York?
We told them before, listen, we're gonna make a show with the Big Apple Circus in New York, and they were so exciting because.
Oh wow.
The thing is that, like me, the Big Apple Circus was one of the greatest shows always in America.
It is. It still is.
It's still like this, but for when I was a child and they wanted the people talk about the Big Apple circuses, was always a dream there to go there to watch the show. I never had in my idea to direct a show for the Big Apple Circus now. So for me, it's also coming a dream come true to be in New York and to direct a show for Circus Theater Roncalli with the Big Apple Circus together.
I love that. Well, what about you, Marty? Did you ever dream of being a CEO?
I think so.
You did? Okay. Yeah. I would have never thought it. But let's get back to the circus, because that's what I want to stay focused on. That some of the acts, you have the clowns are the centerpiece, as I understand. Am I right?
They're the heart. Patrick, I would love
the heart and soul.
I think of the clowns as the heart and the personality and the through line for the show. We don't have a traditional ringmaster this year. And there's a rich legacy of clown traditions in Europe that the Big Apple Circus has integrated into its shows over the year that really is in contrast to some of the clowning techniques that have come out of Ringling Brothers Circus, which is the other large American circus in the U.S. and it's definitely one of my favorite parts. Patrick, what do you think?
Yeah, it's true. The ringmaster in Roncalli was never a very dominant guy or a person, The thing is this, anyway, in the world they talk so much, and then we said we don't need the ringmaster to present the artist. So for us, it's very important that the audience don't get bored, that somebody has to explain which year they start to work, from where they came and everything. So no, this have to be fluent. 2 hours without talking in the show. Sometimes the clown talk for sure, but a ringmaster we didn't see so much.
I can actually see how that would work, and I could see, because sometimes if the ringmaster didn't have the right kind of charisma or something, it would be just take the energy out of what had just happened. So from things flowing from one to the next, I could see how that would really work beautifully. That's inspired.
For sure, because before in Roncalli, I was the ringmaster there with the red suit and with the white trousers and with the boots.
Really?
There's evidence. There's a photo of him.
I be in the balloon. I be in the balloon.
I wish they'd given us that photo. I would like to have had that.
But the thing was that I was never so much talking. I was a person. I was a character.
Okay.
And this is very important. You need in these shows character, like the clowns. Everybody of these clowns, what we're gonna have now in the Big Apple show, they have different character. One is a little bit much music playing. One is not talking too much. The other one is very stupid. The thing is that all the mix of these different characters make a Roncalli show. And for this, we didn't say we don't need somebody who gonna present the acts like a ringmaster.
I could see where you wouldn't need it too. Now, what you have, one of the things people always come to the circus for is that the daring high wire acts. We have those too, I take it. Yes.
Not a wire act, but we have a couple of
aerial acts. Yeah, I don't mean necessarily absolutely. Wire. Yeah, I meant the things people want to see, the danger aspect.
Exactly.
And did you perform with a net? No.
The thing is that we try to don't bring too much, dangerous stuff into circus. Before it was maybe also very important, but I think a Roncalli show, what we did now in the Big Apple Circus, don't have to be so like the people get nearly a heart attack that they're gonna think everybody gonna fall down from the roof. This don't have to be. This is a poetic, nostalgic show with good artists.
Yeah.
And what is very important for our show is also that we're going to have a live orchestra.
Oh, yes, you have the 8-piece orchestra. Yes. But you hadn't with the same conductor you've had for a long time. Is that correct? The Big Apple guy?
Well, our music director, we've had a couple of long-standing music directors. We work now with Wages Argot, who's been there. I'm not sure how many years he's been there, but he's definitely been here for the 2 years I've been back. He was not music director when I was in the show. And about the band, one of the many reasons that there was such a an alignment between Patrick and his vision and what we're doing at the Big Apple Circus is because also at the Big Apple Circus, the orchestra has always been a really important part. And it's been 8 to 12 musicians over the years. And in the past couple of years, they haven't been featured as much as I'd like, and they haven't been as integrated into the show. And with Circus Theater Roncalli, one of the things that you experience immediately is the music. The band actually comes out in front of the big top and plays for the audience as the audience enters the venue.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and so we're doing that this year. There's, logistically, I wish they could be there the whole hour that people are coming in, but they can only be there for 15 minutes because they have to get ready to perform the show. But throughout the whole show, there's a real connection between the orchestra, who are very prominently featured on the bandstand this year, and the performers in the show. And I can't imagine the show without them.
No, not in terms of what you're creating. They're an integral element, absolutely, and then they're kind of a driving force at the same time too.
Absolutely.
Now, when we look at the sizzle reel, I see wonderful lighting and costumes that are really fabulous. They're Broadway quality. It's stunning.
It's truly beautiful show, and that's one of the things that Patrick. It's one of the things, Patrick. You're
That's where I was going. I thought this was Patrick's area. Tell us, Patrick, where do you find such wonderful people?
A Roncalli show, I gonna call always, we have a nice frame, and everything what is in the frame have to be in the Roncalli style. So that means the music is a very big thing. Without the good music, you cannot perform with a good artist. So you need a good artist, you need good costume, you need good lighting, and everything together make a Roncalli show. And this is very important. Like our musical director, Georg Pommer, is also a big, how many years? I think 45 years a member of Roncalli. He writes special music for all the acts, what is new there. And he look which temperament the act have, which style he have. And he gonna write the music only for the acts. And then we have the light designer, and the light designer and myself, we're gonna look which light's gonna be the best thing, which costume we're gonna do. And what is very, very nice also, I think, in our show, we had a nice cast of 6 ballet dancers from New York.
Yeah, I want to touch on this because what I thought was really cool about this, you brought in dancers that are real dancers, and you auditioned young people. So you have a crew of 6 young people that are dancers, not acrobats. And they must bring an extraordinary energy.
This is what I said. I didn't expect this before, because also in Germany we had dancers, but the energy what these girls in New York bring into this ring, I have to say, it's fabulous, because
they're hungry. They're hungry for success, and you're giving them an opportunity. Yes, it's wonderful.
Before I didn't expect that, and then when I saw the first show with them, with the makeup and with the costumes, I said, wow, this is so great, and I have to really take my head if I'm going to have one on. We have also a choreograph in.
One more thing about the dancers. So when they bring this kind of crazy energy, it's contagious, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else lifts their game, right?
Yeah. And the thing is that all these dances, they have a different character. One is the blonde with the black hair, and everybody have a nice impression.
Right.
They are actors. They are not dancers. They're not only
they're
also actors. Right. And they bring everything what they're going to do with the artist, or sometimes they dance also alone in this show. They have so much energy, and the energy they bring also to the audience. And the audience, I think they love it. I didn't saw the show already for 2 weeks now, but I think
you don't remember.
And the dancers also, similar to the clowns, they really provide a spirit and an energy that is sustained throughout the show. And one of the reasons I like the dancers so much, and in a lot of ways, I mean, there's such a highlight, is because it feels so connected to the spirit of Broadway and the razzle dazzle of New York City. And that's always been an important part of what we do at the Big Apple Circus, and it just feels like a really good. It feels like it's layered into the Roncalli style really effectively in the show this year.
And so, besides the 6 dancers, you have 35 performers altogether. So, how many different acts are there? About? Do you know?
I think we have eight or nine different acts. We have, yeah.
No, it's more than that.
It's more than that. It's not about the numbers; it's about the quality anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
The thing is that
it's not important.
that I see always the whole show. I don't see the single acts. I see
the
whole show. What is very important, because the Roncalli show is not one person; it's everybody. And I think the cast, we have 34. People in the ring this year. So all this, they are very important to make the show successful. And they bring very much power, I have to say, every day in the ring.
Well, it sounds like an extraordinary experience from the sizzle reel. It looks extraordinary. We have another. You guys can talk over this if you want. I have another little video from the circus. It doesn't have any sound, so if you want to make some comments about what's happening, you can either one just jump in. Okay, so Jody, it's about a minute long. Let's show everyone that too. Just talk.
Yeah, this is a Brazilian guy. He have a very old act he bring to the Big Apple Circus now. It's a bicycle act, and he have a bicycle cage, we call it, and this gonna go up until the big up with a bicycle. Then we have a Mexican guy, also very fast juggling guy. I think Marty know more about juggling as about me, but I think he's very fast. He came from Mexico. And he's juggling with many different stuff. Then this is what Roncalli makes, the difference of costumes. We have so many different costumes, like a poetic, like a nostalgic, and this bring also very good atmosphere into the ring. And the clowns, they are main people in the circus. The people want to laugh in a show, and this is very important for us also. And we took also these 2 guys, they are from Mexico. We have one from Spain, and the Devlin, he's the comedy requisiteur. He's coming from France, and they're going to be the people who lead the show in the comedy.
Well, and speaking of all of the clowns, one of the things that, Patrick, you think a lot about and spend a lot of time with is getting the clowns to work together and creating a dynamic amongst them, because a lot of them haven't necessarily worked together before, and they all bring their own sense of style. They all bring their own bits. And so Patrick has to weave them together and make them feel like a troupe. And
he really is the director. It looks dynamite. I can't wait to come and experience it in person. Now, also too, when you enter, you have something unique that I haven't seen yet. It's a shared the lobby, and there's a lot going on when you first come into the.
Yes, absolutely, and this also speaks to the partnership with Circus Roncalli. As I mentioned earlier, their approach is very much about world building and about all the touch points you have with an audience member. It's not just about what happens in the ring. And with the Big Apple Circus, it's been that way over the years as well. But we thought the collaboration this year was a really good excuse to reimagine and reconfigure the front of house. So we not only built a gallery wall that's situated next to the entrance tent that has old circus posters from Big Apple Circus and Circus Theater Roncalli, but we have a new lobby tent which functions as an exhibition space. It's a tent with glass sidewalls, so you feel really connected to New York City, and it has costume displays from various shows over the years, and it has a lot of almost historical artifacts and museum pieces from Circus Roncalli's history as well. Patrick, do you want to mention any things that are particularly important?
No, it's everything there. We want to bring a little bit also of the Roncalli history to the Big Apple Circus, because we are the first time in New York, and we want to show also something what we done already in the last 45 years. And this cooperation with Big Apple Circus and the there was very similar the last years when Paul Binder and Bernard Powell start Circus. There was the one who bring the circus again, a little bit fresh air in it. And this is what I said before. For every artist who work in the circus business, so Roncalli and Big Apple Circus, there was always the high class quality circus, and this we want to bring, or this we bring also this year to New York with a good cooperation.
Well, you're the critics' pick from the New York Times, so I think you may have accomplished your goal. I haven't seen it. I'll hold my opinion, but everything sounds fabulous, and I think the stars have aligned to make this really very, very special happening. So the last thing I want to kind of share, you're only up until January 1st, and you may get extended, but there are tickets available off hours, days of the weeks that aren't popular for as little as $20, and you can go all the way up to get concierge service and a box of all kinds of details. So they can find all this stuff on the website, or is there a telephone number?
That's correct. So we have a wide range of prices. As you mentioned, Patrick, on our off-peak showtimes, prices are more accessible. And then we have a couple of VIP offerings that just add additional layers to the experience. All this information and tickets are available at bigapplecircus.com. And we are currently on sale through January 1st, as you mentioned, and may extend that a little bit into January.
So get your tickets right away, just in case they don't extend. You never know what could happen. Life is strange.
And some of the shows, if you want to come on the weekends and peak times, get your tickets soon, because we have some shows that are sold out. So
I'm sure they will on the weekends for sure, because it's a really special event in the Lincoln Center on top of it. And you'll have to come back, because I'd love to talk more with you about your journey with your brother and how this all happened and transpired. It's really interesting. And Patrick, you too. I'm thrilled to have you here in America making this special magic for us. You guys,
I hope so. So I hope this was the first time.
This will be the first of many for Patrick Philadelphia. He's a true talent. So we'll be seeing lots of things, Patrick.
Because we didn't get to share with the audience how your name came into being, and we're out of time, because I thought that was a cool story too.
I have to say also that the Roncalli style from Bernard Powell, in 28 years, I was every day learning how to make a nostalgic, poetic show. And I have to say, I have a good teacher, Bernard Powell, give always new ideas to us. And the only thing, I'm like a good cook, I have to cook everything together. And I think we have a good deal, I will say.
Well, thank you again, guys. We're out of time. It's been delightful.
Join us at the Big Apple Circus in New York.